Hey, what is up guys, it's Brian of Rehab 3000 here, and in today's video I want to talk about the last 10 released Call of Duty titles. And to make this video interesting, I'm also going to make it ranked by worst to best. We are not counting the remasters or remakes solely because in most cases they are usually the same games, just different engines. Now I am counting the last 10 Call of Duty games to release, so the earliest title would be Black Ops 3, which would have been 10 years ago by now. Now before we continue, just to let you know how I am ranking these games, it's basically based off how fun it was, the modes that it came with, the multiplayer, and the campaigns if it had any. Of course, there's a few games on this list that didn't have a campaign. Now, what we all have been waiting for. Number 10, I have Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. Nothing really to say about this game other than it had real potential. It's the worst Call of Duty of all time, to say the least. It seriously amounted to nothing at all. The campaign was left us with a huge cliffhanger that easily just makes you forget the game. And voice acting was phenomenal, but it's just that the game had no potential. On the other hand, because of the introduction of Warzone 2.0, they really shifted less time on the actual game, and just the amount of actual multiplayer side of things, they were not good. It was not fun at all, and it's for me on the fun scale, it's just not fun of a Call of Duty. I want to rank it last for that reason. A true fun scale of a 2 out of 10 ranking. Truly one of the worst Call of Duties in history. Number 9, Call of Duty Vanguard. Now, Vanguard was an interesting title to say the least. It was Sledgehammer's kind of game that was really pushed boundaries as far as having great graphics, and it was still set in the World War II era to make fans want to return back to the D-Day eras of Call of Duty. The campaign was actually really solid, and it followed up from its successor, World War II, back in 2017, which Sledgehammer did a pretty good job on. But the multiplayer was full of unbalanced weapons that made it into Warzone and made the game even worse. The amount of tryhards because of the movement of the game was actually insane, and I want to say it was really fast and chaotic, which made it decent. I mean, if you like the fast-paced Call of Duty, then you're going to get a great experience, but again, it was a failed success to me. On a fun scale, I'll rate it a 4 out of 10. Although they had a great mode, it just wasn't what Call of Duty is supposed to be. Number 8, Infinite Warfare. Now, a lot of you probably want to rank this game last, and that's totally fine. Again, this is my personal opinion, so I personally think this game was really awesome. Aside from bundling it in with getting Call of Duty 4 remastered, Infinity Ward had a balanced overall game. They do a great job of making sure your guns are really balanced and they're not pretty much pushing the boundaries for you to have anything worse. The multiplayer felt smooth, the jetpack CODs wasn't so bad in that era. It had memorable guns, of course, we all remember some of those guns in Infinite Warfare. A really fun campaign and an awesome zombies mode. I will say, the game is memorable to me. I put in a lot of hours in this game. The fun scale was definitely a 5 out of 10 on this one. Number 7, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. A lot of you guys hate and love this game. I'm in the middle. During launch, this game was actually decent. Full of problems, but decent. I played my ass off with multiplayer, it was probably more balanced quality than most of the latest Call of Duties. Campaign was actually really excellent. I think they really pushed the boundaries on this one as well. Straight to the point, carried over, and had me ready for the next title. But it wasn't enjoyable. It was a breath fresh of air in the COD universe, especially because they introduced and weren't scared to bring in a more balanced scale, which I think more Call of Duties need nowadays. I'll give this a 7 out of 10 on the fun scale. Number 6, Black Ops 4. I think a lot of us now are like, what is going on? The reason this isn't any lore was because of Blackout. I truly hate how this game didn't come with the campaign, but it made up with the release of Blackout. Now, I remember my first time playing Blackout in the beta. It was absolutely amazing. I truly hate how when the Blackout mode came out, though, multiplayer was still really fun, for a fact. I was hooked on this game for a few months. It had the best time to kill. I'm not gonna lie, with the stim feature, it's just one of the best I've ever seen. Then Blackout again is just really way ahead of its time. Unfortunately, because crossplay didn't exist at this moment, Blackout did die a little bit earlier for PC players. I know console players did experience it throughout a broader scale, but us PC players kind of just were in the dust for a little bit. But very fun game. I'll give this one on the fun scale an 8 out of 10. Number 5, Black Ops Cold War. Lots of you guys are going to flame me for putting this game down this late, but let me explain. I thought it had a stellar campaign, very confusing, but it made sense. Multiple endings, that shebang. Multiplayer reminded me a lot of Black Ops 4, but with a little faster time to kill. Zombies was all over the place. I know the population didn't mix well with zombies when this game first came out. It didn't mix well with me either, a lot of the times. But just to say the least, the game was fun, but just the same old stuff we would see from Black Ops 1 mostly, but you know, with better graphics and a quicker pace. But in a good way, really fun title. I'll give this one a 6 out of 10 just because they still again implemented the whole Warzone thing, and I'm a big fan of Warzone, but when you mix the games with Warzone, it's not the best. Number 4, World War II. Now, this game does hold a special place in my heart. The reason I ranked it where it's at, it was amazing. I spent my winters, my springs, and summers grinding this game. This is the last console COD that I purchased before I started transitioning to PC full-time. The campaign was amazing, first of all. What a great campaign. Great score as well. Multiplayer was nice and balanced. Again, this is one of the ones that you're having too much fun playing multiplayer. Now, Zombies was actually scary to play, to say the least. They had a lot of potential coming out of Sledgehammer Games, but I think the dynamic of the whole Zombies is a Treyarch thing. So I love that the fact that they tried it. But again, Treyarch is the one that should take over Zombies permanently. But I did enjoy the World War II one. Great times with this game. I'll give it an 8 out of 10. Now the controversy begins. Number 3. Black Ops 6. Now, Black Ops 6 has been the most time I invested in Call of Duty for me since Modern Warfare 2022, for the good reason that the franchise is back. Overall, amazing campaign. I found it to be one of the better campaigns in Call of Duty history. Its multiplayer is great, although there is some imbalance. There's still really good guns that, even if you're, still using the worst gun, it's still pretty balanced. And the zombies, don't get me wrong, when the game first came out, trying out the zombies mode was kind of a hit or miss, but once you kind of learned Liberty Falls and the other map, you kind of understood, wow, this is really the overall package they're giving us. But overall, this game has brought back a spark of gaming that I haven't had since 2019. No surprise there. For the best, it's the first Call of Duty camo grind that I've started since Black Ops 2. I never did in Black Ops 3. I never did in Black Ops 4. Believe it or not, but great fun game overall. I'll give this one a 9 out of 10. Number 2. Black Ops 3. Now, a lot of you guys are going to flame me for this spot. There's a reason I put this at 2. First, the game campaign isn't great. This is the reason it's preventing it from being the top game, is because of the campaign. Now, when I think of Call of Duty, I have to think of the campaign because that's usually what makes the game enjoyable. There's a reason that we as players can put this at a higher list, is because of zombies. Zombies and multiplayer makes up the game. The zombies that Black Ops 3 introduced hasn't been anything we've ever seen before. And to this day, I still use the Black Ops 3 engine to play custom zombies on the PC. So again, it's one of those Call of Duties that keeps me invested over long periods of time. It's got great Easter eggs, great maps. Multiplayer also had a strong dynamic and balance and great movement. Ranking this out of the fun skill meter, I'll give it a 10 out of 10 because of the longevity of the game. Number 1, Modern Warfare 2019. Now again, this list is totally my list. I ranked this number 1 because this title had me invested since the beta. Infinity Ward was on the hot seat, with its last title being Infinite Warfare and Call of Duty Ghosts. No surprise they need a jump and boost with the fans. They did something tremendous with this game. I have no idea what it was, but it got us all over during the pandemic. I played every single second I could with this game. Now nostalgia is hitting harder than ever because it was only 5 years ago that I started playing this game. But I played every single second I could. And the reason it makes this game so amazing was because it had a really great multiplayer. I think that it was a little imbalanced, but really fun. And don't forget, come March, they introduced Warzone during the pandemic. And literally, this was peak gaming, and I hope we return to this period one day. I hope you guys do enjoy the video, though. If you guys could change the rankings, what would you put as your number 1? Drop your number or your top 10 list down in the bottom. I'll go ahead and check every single comment. I'll like your comment. I'll comment on your comment. But let me know in the future what kind of videos you guys want to see. Thank you.